Hey there! Welcome back to another episode of Bizdateup. Like we know, figuring out the valuation of startup company is an art. But it can be a crucial step because when startups are newly born, they do not generate any revenue. So, in today's video, we're going to be walking through different methods of evaluating a startup and to really understand why it's important. Let's start with the fundamentals. What is a startup valuation? Startup valuation is the process of determining a startup company's value. Startup organizations that are now in pre-revenue stage are frequently subjected to these tactics, making them particularly crucial. Now let's talk about why is the startup valuation so important. After all, as a creator, you will likely participate in fundraising rounds or maybe your business will be bought at some point. Because of this, in order to pay you in stock or cash, the investor or business that is buying your company has to know how much your firm is worth. This was once again for the accusation part of it. Let's now discuss how investors would effectively put money in your firm and receive equity ownership in exchange. The fact that value leads you credibility is another reason why it is so crucial. You get market reputation as a result. Various business founders and investors will be aware of how you raised X amount at X amount of value. It essentially announces to the world that your firm is worth that certain sum. Others can use it to determine how sophisticated of an investment someone has made. What are the ways of valuing a startup? You may have heard that valuation is more of an art than a science. And to some extent, it's true because startups sometimes lack precise data at early stage and must contend with a number of risks that might alter the direction of the company. For evaluating early stage firms, many conventional valuation techniques such as discounted cash flow are less effective. Investors must thus evaluate other less crucial factors. Method 1. The Berkus approach. The venture capitalist Dave Berkus developed the Berkus Method to determine values exclusively for pre-revenue startups or companies that have not yet started selling their goods at a large scale. 5 crucial success factors observed in early stage enterprises are to be given monetary values. This straightforward approach protects founders and investors from making incorrect values based on anticipated revenues, which few startups achieve in the anticipated time frame. The 5 factors are as follows. First, concept. The product provides fundamental value at a manageable risk. 2. Prototype. Technology risk is decreased. 3. Quality management. The startup intends to set up a quality management team if one isn't correctly in place. 4. Connections. There are already some strategic partnerships in place which lowers the market's danger of intense competition. 5. Launch plan. There is some evidence of a sales plan and preparation for product rollout. This doesn't apply to all pre-revenue startups. The greatest conceivable worth is $2.5 million since each aspect is assigned a rating of up to $500,000. For software businesses, the Berkus Method is a straightforward estimating technique. It is a helpful method for determining value, but because it ignores the market, it could not provide the scope some people are looking for. Method number 2. Scorecard Valuation Method. One of the most common techniques used by angel investors to value startups is a scorecard valuation method. It also refers to as the bill-pain valuation approach. And it evaluates a business by contrasting it with others that have already received funding. You first start by figuring out the typical valuation for pre-revenue businesses in that industry. Then, according to Forbes, you may evaluate the following elements to see how the startup compares to other startups in the same area. Starting with the strength of management team, size of opportunity, product technology, competitive environment, then comes marketing or sales channels and the need of potential investment. Method 3. Venture capital method. This approach, which is used frequently by venture capital companies as its name implies, It is one more choice to take into account if you want a pre-revenue value. It also represents the perspective of investors who want to leave a company in a few years. There are two formulas you can use to work towards your valuation. The first one is anticipated returns on investment is equal to terminal value plus post-money valuation. And the second one is post-money valuation is equal to terminal value plus anticipated returns on investment. You should first determine your startup's terminal value or the anticipated selling price following the VC firm's investment. You may determine this using the price to earning ratio or the expected revenue multipliers for your industry. Input everything and a predetermined ROI such as 10x to arrive at your post-money valuation. The investment amount you are requesting is then subtracted to obtain your pre-money valuation. Method 4. The cost to duplicate method. The name of this technique contains the secret: calculating the cost to replicate your firm elsewhere after deducting any intangible assets such as your brand or goodwill. The fair market value of your tangible assets is simply added together. You can also include expenses for product prototypes, patents, and research and development. One significant problem is that this approach automatically undervalues a firm, especially if it is making money. You might have to discount factors that are extremely important, like your startup's customer involvement when determining its worth. Method 5. Book value approach. Let's talk about how easygoing this approach is. You'll receive an asset-based appraisal using the book value technique, even more straightforward than the cost to duplicate approach. It is comparable. A startup company's book value is traditionally equal to its entire asset less its liabilities. In other words, the book value technique compares your startup's price with its net worth. Bringing everything into one, you need a valuation estimate that you can defend to possible investors and believe in for any other reasons as a creator of a firm. An accurate valuation aids in the creation of your long-term capital raising plan and helps you prioritize your financial requests. There is no one startup valuation approach that is consistently right. You'll probably use a variety of approaches and combine them to arrive at a fair price. Don't forget to use corporate databases to check that you're on the right track. About Bizdateup, every startup can use Bizdateup as an all-in-one platform. With us, you can easily raise money, find investors, and get a variety of other services for your company all under one roof. To find out more, visit bizdateup.com. And for more content, please like, subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon.